What's up, AfterBuzzers? Welcome back to the Soul Eater After Show. Today we are covering Season 2, Episodes 9 through 13. The Kishin is revived, Reaper chops are in full effect, and madness. Madness is everywhere. We've got a lot to talk about, so don't you go anywhere.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Reaper chop! What's up, everyone? Thank you so much for coming back to the Soul Eater After Show. We're about halfway through, kind of, sort of, at this point, right? Right?
It's crazy. I'm excited for you guys to finally figure out.
I'm excited too, because I've been looking it up. I'm excited. Everyone's telling me so many good things. So.
And welcome back, everyone. I'm Veronica Valencia, and joining me today we have...
What's up, guys? Jaimi Gray here.
And I'm Ollie Drennan.
And sadly, Carrie cannot be with us today, but she will be back next week. We miss you, Carrie.
We miss you, girl.
Miss you.
We'll be missing you.
Oh,
We're singers in here.
so we're fabulous singers. We can sing this like theme song down right now.
That's facts.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right? All right, I think we should, because we are getting straight on into it today, because instead of covering 4 episodes, we are actually covering 5. We are watching it as it is presented on Netflix. So Season 2, the last 5 episodes, we are watching this brand new. Ollie is our expert death site, so he has seen it.
I got those 99 souls and 1 witch soul, so I got you.
You've got that.
He's got all the goods. Okay.
He's perfection. So he has seen it. He knows what's going on. But Jaimi and I have seen not all of it, and some of it maybe before in the past. So please, no spoilers in the chat. We are watching this as if it were new. So let's get right into it. Episode 9, The Seal Shrine, The Immortal Man's Tricks. I do gotta say, I always laugh when Carrie says these titles, because I never realized just how long they were until I had to write them down. I'm like, Jesus, why are they so long?
They're so, like, it's just all, they have the colon, a comma, a semicolon, like, all that.
All that stuff. And the question mark?
There's always a question mark in the title.
Like,
and Maka just like always reads it, and I just love her so much.
But our overall thoughts of these 5 episodes, what did we think?
So I wasn't here last week, and I watched the show. I was with you guys. Like, it got so much better, because at first, I'm going to take back what I said, because I was like, I don't know how I feel about Soul Eater, but I am actually becoming a fan. And those of you that follow me on Twitter, I've been like tweeting about it. It's just getting so much better. And a lot of people have been telling me that the future seasons get a lot better too. So these episodes, action-packed. It got more creepy and eerie, which I liked. Like, they're going over the edge a little bit. Just like when Erica got her face bitten off. We'll get to that.
My
But
God.
I was just
The
like,
heck was that?
I was not expecting that. So I was really excited, because I'm like, okay, this is good. So I have my snacks. Sorry, I'm obsessed, as you can tell. But I loved it. I loved Stein's development too. So I'm excited, as you can tell. Yeah.
No, totally. I saw your tweet the other day. You're just like, oh, finally. So
It's good.
Yeah, Soul Eater's getting good. So I was like,
getting
yes,
good.
Jaimi. But yeah, as you brought up the horror, kind of like the horror, creepy aspect of the anime, that's what I love. I love horror, like the genre. So that to be incorporated into such a also like lighthearted, funny anime with a lot of depth to it as well. Like, this is why I love Soul Eater so much, because it's so versatile, and the stories and the characters, they're just kid and his symmetry. Come on.
They're all
gotta love
so
him.
quirky.
He's such an original character too, so I just live for this. And can we you talked about the Reaper chop.
Reaper chop!
Oh my god. Iconic.
Yeah.
Iconic.
No, I definitely have to agree with you, Jaimi, because especially like in the beginning, it was a little bit slower. And especially at the beginning of this season with all that filler, we were like, oh, okay, when is it going to pick up? When are we going to kind of get to like the big arc that's coming up? And so the last few episodes have just really gone in full force with that, and I'm very excited to see kind of like the new emergence of this new villain, this very powerful villain. And so I'm very happy that we started to see all that. And then of course we get introduced to a whole bunch of new quirky characters, a whole bunch of more laughs. I love it all. So again, episode 9, The Seal Shrine, The Immortal Man's Tricks. So, okay, it all kind of starts off with, coming back to Maka and Crona and Ragnarok. What do we feel of, like, new mini Ragnarok and, like, kind of what's to come of Crona now that
He's a jerk.
Bully.
Mini Ragnarok is so adorable, though. Like, he's so cute. But yeah, he's so mean to Crona. It's ridiculous. But just going back from the end of episode 8 coming into this episode, when the little ogre was like, that wasn't he said it wasn't an exorcism wavelength. I'm wondering, this might be a prediction, but I think just because I went into this, I'm wondering, like, if Maka is really to be trusted with Crona, and if it's her black blood that's affecting, you know, everything.
But, like, she doesn't have black blood anymore, right?
Right, but I'm wondering, like, they showed that moment, and when they lit up, I'm like, okay, something's going on there, and I think something's going on, and we gotta watch Maka. So that's because I wasn't here last week. That's my prediction from last week. But we'll get into that deeper. But that's what I thought.
I love Maka. And don't cover my girl. No.
I love her.
No, but I think honestly, little mini Ragnarok is really cute. He reminds me a little bit of Deadpool. He gives me some Deadpool tease.
Okay.
But I think he also just kind of like has little man syndrome now, especially.
Oh yeah.
And to me, he's always represented like the doubt in Crona. You know, because he's constantly bullying Crona, and I just think Crona finally has this opportunity to kind of pursue what Crona finally wants, or just to kind of figure that out, even though you kind of always have that doubt with you no matter what. And now that Crona has friends, finally, I think those friends will really help Crona kind of persevere through that doubt.
Yeah, I agree. Ragnarok is such a bully. I'm just like, leave Crona alone because, and as we'll get into later, and especially in the last couple episodes, like, I've really come to love Crona. I just think he's such a great and interesting character with a lot of depth. And I'm very excited to see that, like, now that, like, Ollie, you were saying Ragnarok has, like, little man syndrome, if Crona feels at any point he can start standing up to Ragnarok and, like, taking it, like, everything by his control, that would be absolutely great to see. So, and then we had also kind of mentioned the last couple episodes were mainly focusing on Maka kind of taking on Crona, and so we were kind of excited to see the rest of our characters. And so we finally get Kid, how did we think that he was going to make it through this battle completely undistracted by his symmetry OCD?
It's always something with him, but that's why I love him. It's like to the point where it's like it makes you laugh and you get irritated and you're just like, that's just Kid. But no, I did not think he would make it through.
It's not as annoying as Black Star. Let's be real.
That's facts. Yeah.
Yahoo! Just like I'm gonna shout and make my entrance.
I know. I was happy that Kid kind of took over things.
Yeah.
But yeah, Free when he fought Free or kind of fought Free. I think Free's so attractive.
It's that wolf-like exterior. He's got the muscles and that.
I'm just like,
you like the eye though?
Who's getting hot?
The eye creeps me out.
No, I'm all about that.
Just give him a patch.
Daddy Free.
He's like
Daddy. Daddy or daddy?
Zaddy.
Zaddy Free. I like it. Gotta roll the R.
Oh, he's just like the ideal. I don't even want to say the ideal guy, but like he is that idea of, you know, big, masculine, tough guy, and he's an immortal being, but his personality just comes across of like, well, I don't know, like kind of whatever.
He's definitely kind of a dork. Yeah, definitely. That's the best word to describe him.
Mm-hmm. Did you, Ollie, not so much you, Jaime, did you think that they were actually fighting him? Did you think something was up?
For a hot second I did, you know, just because in the very beginning it looked like it, then I was like, oh, okay, they're all in this basically together. So it started to make sense. And then because we're seeing so many other people hallucinate, it's like it makes us confused in the midst of it. But it started to all come together.
Yeah. Well, I actually just have a question because I was kind of confused by this, so maybe you guys can reiterate or clarify it rather. Obviously, he was trying so hard to avoid Black Star's stabs because it would clearly show that he was an illusion. But any idea of why he wasn't trying as hard to avoid Kid's bullets? Because I feel like that would just be as much as obvious, no?
Right. I wasn't really sure why that was happening, you know? With Black Star, I just figured Black Star's always oblivious to everything, but it just didn't make sense.
I think it's kind of just his bullets are more so like energy based rather than they're not gonna like they'll like blast you, but they're not gonna like pierce you, such as like a weapon from like an actual like sharp weapon. That's kind of how I took it.
Yeah.
I wonder if he also thinks that death is just predictable too. I mean, if Kid is predictable, just because he's always thinking of symmetry, maybe he's just, I don't know. It's a theory.
Maybe. He definitely got caught up in the symmetry and the pillars and all of that stuff. So kind of going a little bit forward into the horror aspect, what you guys were talking about of how the illusions and the madness was starting to really take hold of Eruka and Free. That was creepy.
Yeah.
A whole lot of creepiness.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you guys, but the entire time I was watching this, I was like, I find Free and maybe not so much Free and Eruka, but definitely Medusa. They're so naive to think that if they were to revive the Kishin, it's dumb to think that they can like control the situation, you know?
Yeah, something that they've never really encountered before like that either. But that whole scene of Eruka, you know, being bitten by the illusion, you know, that was crazy because that was the over the edge part where I was not expecting it. I did not expect that to happen, and I think that's what tilted it over the edge. And I was like, I can take this series a lot more seriously.
Yeah.
That's how I felt.
I just feel bad. I feel so bad for Eruka because she's like the new Crona at this point. I feel like she's always being like abused and like just kind of like in the hot seat and like Free. I feel like Free definitely has like like an oath to like he got rescued, so now he has an oath to Medusa, so that's why Free's always doing this. And then Eruka, obviously, she has a snake, so she's kind of trapped. So I just feel for her. And when I first saw this, I thought they were done for.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys thought, because I felt like they were kind of expendable a little bit. I love Eruka, Free's a daddy and everything, but you know we have this big bad coming, so I really thought that they were done for at this point.
I thought so too. Yeah, I mean the hallucinations do kind of confuse you at one point, but you know Eruka, she's just in such a vulnerable position.
Yeah.
No matter whether she's siding with someone or whether they're her opponent, she just kind of seems like the weaker character. But she has some strengths too with her attacks. So yeah,
I just thought that was such a nice introduction into the madness that they continuously bring up in the remainder episodes, because it's like, oh, of course, when the Kishin, when Asura is actually revived, of course he's gonna wreak havoc, but the fact that he was this powerful and he was still sealed up really showed, I think, how dangerous it would be had he been revived.
They were kind of the guinea pigs to what's to come or what to expect from his power. So it's just like wild, like, stay away from my Maka.
All right. So speaking of madness, which obviously goes into the next episode, episode 10, Dead or Alive in the Rift Between Revival and Dazzlement, ? But before we get into this episode, everyone, Ollie has a very special announcement for all of you.
Guys and ladies, everyone, thank you so much for letting us be the ESPN of TV Talk, but we got to ask you something. Please hit that thumbs up button if you're watching on YouTube. Subscribe to us. Give us a 5-star on iTunes, or if you're listening on Spotify. Can you rate on Spotify? I don't know, but we're also on Spotify. But yes, thank you so much for tuning in week after week. We really appreciate it. Just keep that discussion going with us. We love talking to you. Just tweet us, comment, keep that discussion going. We really appreciate it. And, you know, being a part of AfterBuzz really means a lot to us, and we just want to give back to you. So thank you so much for your love and support. You know, we love doing this, and we're doing this not only for ourselves, but also for you.
Yeah.
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 We mean it.
I'm just having an emotional, tearful moment.
So well said. So well said. Love it. All right. Episode 10. A lot of it focused on Stein and kind of how he really is mad and crazy. What did we think about this new development with his character?
Why was I shocked? Like, I was shocked, but not shocked. And then I was like, Jaimi, why are you shocked? When I first was introduced to this character in season 1, I was kind of like, he seems a little creepy. He probably has this side to him, but I think I just kind of let it go over the course of the next episodes. But this one, I was like, yeah, of course he's sadistic and crazy, but my goodness, Stein. But I kind of like this madness that he's experiencing, and it kind of makes me more intrigued about his character. So he's kind of becoming one of my favorites. Yeah, I just want to know more.
Yeah, definitely. I remember when we were first introduced to him, we already got that kind of strange, evil, quote unquote, evil, sadistic side to him. But obviously that was kind of a ruse just to test our kids. But that's actually he is actually like a little mad, and I feel like a lot of that has been suppressed over the years, and it's coming out more now, especially now that we have to deal with Asura. So that's a lot to, you know, like, and I also think this is jumping ahead a little bit. Lord Death sees him as someone that could potentially follow suit of Asura and what happened to Asura being power hungry, and we don't want that to happen to Stein. Right. You know, we don't want history to repeat itself.
Yeah.
With Stein.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, like you guys were saying when he was introduced, I thought he was nuts. Granted, every character in this series is kind of nuts when we first get introduced to them. But this episode was kind of scary for his character because it really did show the crazy, mad side to him that we hadn't really seen before. And it almost kind of made me personally a little bit nervous. I don't know if you guys got maybe Ollie when you first watched this, or Jaimi, that maybe he could cross over. Maybe he was being manipulated by Medusa a little too much.
I didn't know if it was also just the Keishan and, you know, him feeling the effects of the Keishan's madness coming upon him. So it was just all these thoughts in my head. But I do sometimes think that Stein could push it, but I'm like, he's just such a smart guy. I'm like, Stein's better than that. But at the same time, I wasn't expecting him to be this sadistic. So it's up in the air. I'm not really sure.
Yeah. And this was the episode 10 was when we saw his backstory as little Stein and the little spirit. So it even like affected him when we weren't dealing with Asura and his madness. And we'll learn like later on that like there was a character that kind of helped him through that and kind of had that healing wavelength. So
Oh man,
I just don't want like Stein to go crazy because
It's like he has to be protected or something, or babysat.
yeah,
Like,
which is crazy because he's clearly a character who can take care of his own, who can hold his own, especially in a battle. But he has to be, like you were saying, Jaimi, taken care of for someone to bring him back if he ever does go over the edge. Because yeah, like you were saying, Ollie, we saw in the flashback, this has been a thing for him forever. He even referenced like being back in kindergarten and it affecting him then. And can we also just talk about his past real quick, where he was like, I was studied for my violent tendencies.
yeah.
Like,
He was excited about it. I was like, oh my God, you're really creepy.
You're so weird.
But
Totally.
also, so we do the dubbed, right?
Yes.
You guys doing dubbed?
Yes.
Okay, which we do love subbed as well, but we're dubbed over here.
Carrie normally watches
Right.
everything subbed, and we watch it dubbed, so we get both
Right,
perspectives.
we appreciate both. But what did you guys think of Stein's voice acting? And this is not to like bash, but I'm just kind of like, especially him as a younger kid, I was like,
Should it have been softer or like younger sounding?
Yeah, and I'm just like,
it's
I don't know if I was
very
feeling
kind
it.
of monotone as I speak because I'm kind of monotone.
But I like your voice. But you know what I'm saying? I'm like, not that I didn't like his, but I was just kind of like, I wasn't feeling
like,
it.
oh.
What do you guys think? I just wanted to bring
That
it up.
is a
'cause it's like-
mature 13-year-old voice.
Ah.
I didn't even notice
He
until
could have
you
been
brought that
younger,
up.
but I was just kind of like,
No, that's a good point you bring up.
take it up an octave or something. I don't know.
Interesting.
No, it's a very good point because like I didn't think about it either, and maybe I guess it
Like, he sounds
wasn't.
the same.
Maybe it wasn't as much of a big deal too because it was literally like a 30-second scene kind of thing.
Yeah.
But no, good, really good point. And I know we're talking about Stein being crazy, but of course we all know he can hold his own. And so let's talk about that the soul thread that he unleashes on Medusa. What do we think of seeing into more of his abilities?
Yeah, Stein is definitely a strong character. That fight between him and Medusa was very intense. Even Medusa, I gotta give her props with her attacks.
Her vector arrows.
That spin attack with her hand. I'm like doing this thing with my hand. I have this shaking. It's like a drill. That's a drill, guys. But I mean, just the whole fight was intense. Stein is a sick guy, but again, I'm starting to love it. He was great.
Yeah. I think what also kind of not even Ashura's madness kind of awoken the madness, but also Medusa wanting to dissect him through this dialogue that they were having. So that also, I think, kind of like unlocked his madness too. But yeah, I just think that like I don't want to say that he's been bullied, but that really like, I think when you're constantly under this ray being analyzed and examined, you yourself want to start examining and dissecting and experimenting with other things. So I think that was kind of like the catalyst of him growing up to be crazy in a sense, you know, not to call him crazy, but
In a good way. And he's a tricky character, but I like when anime kind of makes you think about real life, because when he was fighting Medusa, he was like, I know that if I have these irrelevant thoughts, I won't be able to focus and fight her. And it's like, okay, I should do that too. I should apply this to my life. But I love when they do things like that, because it's so true. Medusa is more of an intellectual type of fighter, so he has to kind of match his opponent.
She's such a bully. Like she really
she
tries.
doesn't give up.
She's
Like, good God.
She's relentless. She tries to
She
throw
is
you off.
tenacious. She like you're saying, she doesn't give up. She's relentless. She'll like try and dig into you wherever she can, and she has a way to do it. Honestly, like it was kind of getting scary there for a minute because it was constantly like, you're like me. You're a scientist. You like to dissect, which could give speculation that Stein could ever at some point cross over because he does have so many similarities to Medusa.
Right.
So
She really gets under your skin with those snakes.
And he said
quite literally.
he did say when he was younger that he doesn't want to live in a world of the gods and things
Yeah.
like that. And the spirit was like, no, don't say that. He was like, no, I really mean it. So, yeah.
He doesn't like authority.
Yeah.
That's another thing.
There you go.
Yep. And flash forwarding to kind of after this battle is happening, we go back to our heroes, Kid and Black Star. And so basically they're trying to stop Eruka from injecting the black blood into Asura. And again, we deceived. Did we really think like Black Star had succeeded?
Yes.
For a hot second. I wanted to because especially, I'm like, he has kids, so he'll be okay. And Tsubaki can control him just a little bit. Tsubaki.
Oh my
but
gosh, Tsubaki. She has so much faith in him.
Yeah, I like how he was like, what did he say about something about being blind? Like elation is blind elation, whatever. They love blindly, but yeah, I was hoping for them, like especially when Black Star was running. Kid was like, listen, you got to get this together. Make sure don't hallucinate. And then he still did, and that's what I was just like, why did I have faith in you? Why?
Yeah, I thought when I first watched this like years ago, I really thought they stopped it because we were watching it like in the middle of the series. So I'm like, no way is the Kishin going to be resurrected this early. But I think it was important to have the Kishin resurrected this early because that's what made this anime so good. Like you'll see the next couple of all of the rest of the episodes are amazing because it really kicks things off and like raises the stakes.
Piggybacking off of what you were saying, Ollie, I thought so too. Like even at the end of last week's few episodes and the beginning of this one, I was like, okay, honestly, as much as we want them to succeed, I can see the Kishin being revived because I feel like we can only go on so much further with Medusa as a character, and then I don't think like we would get much more from Free or Eruka because they are just kind of in it
Weaklings.
out of blackmail kind of thing. So I did really see that the show kind of needed a bigger antagonist to kind of keep it going. So I was like, okay, they're definitely probably going to bring him back. But I was very excited at this point of like, oh, Black Star did it. And it would have been such a nice moment because we have seen that Black Star can be very irritating and we just want him to do good. Like if you're gonna make a big stink about being the almighty Black Star, like actually do it, And so that was it was disappointing.
Yeah.
For sure.
Especially at the end.
But it'll be worth it, don't worry. Just keep watching, you're gonna love it, I promise.
And that leads into episode 11, The Battle of the Gods, Death City on the verge of collapse? ? All right, so the Kishin is revived. Gross looking.
Disgusting.
That face.
That skin.
That smile.
The stretchy skin.
Putty skin.
And again, poor Erica, because it screamed in her face. Well, she screamed, and then it screamed back at her.
It's drooling. Well, I think that was the illusion too, where it drooled on her. I'm like, she's just getting like the short end of the stick.
I feel so bad for her because I really like Erica a lot. She's so cute, and
she's froggy.
She just misled.
I think you like frog characters.
Erica,
Sue?
Froppy.
I think there's a connection here.
I don't know. Who did it best?
Froggy.
And then
Hands down.
profit.
Yeah, I agree.
As much as everything is happening in the underground of the academy, we have to go back up to the actual city and everything that's going on, and we get back introduced to our Blair Mizune fight. Our little bit of
oh my gosh, Jamie, what did you think?
Okay, I had written this down too. I love them, and I think they would be great cosplay for anyone who wants to try that. Hey, maybe I'll try it. But I love them. I think their cattiness is hilarious, of course, with the nosebleeds, typical anime. But I don't know, I like them because I'm just like, they're hot, they're cute characters.
Yeah. It was so hysterical because literally, like, so much is happening, so much destruction is about to happen, a lot of, chaos is ensuing, and all these guys are just, like, drowning, lust, hot, like, watching these two girls just, like, kind of, not even fighting, just, like, on top of each other, talking smack. Like,
They're making no progress through their fight.
they're really not. But of course, we needed to have a little bit of that in there to lighten up the mood of everything that's going on. And then, of course, we get finally, Asura, like, returns kind of to a normal state. Like, he's kind of back in this sense. And then we finally get a really good battle. Like, we finally get to see more of Lord Death.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is why I
gosh.
stan Lord Death.
Wow.
Okay, honestly, to me, Lord Death is the best character. I'm sorry, Maka, but Lord Death, he doesn't play around. He went off in this episode, and he wasn't even at full strength because he didn't have a weapon. So props to Lord Death for holding his own, and he's still so kooky, and I just loved his backstory real briefly about him appearing very menacingly in the past, and so he changed his appearance in order to
Hysterical.
to appeal to the kids, and I thought that was so endearing. And you really can't judge a book. I know he changed his appearance, but you really can't judge a book by its cover, I think. And he did that just to be able to start the DWMA to help people become weapons and meisters.
And I thought it was just interesting just to see his character change, because we see him as this happy-go-lucky character, and then you see him frown for the first time, and I'm like, whoa, it's about to get real, and it did. So I loved it.
I wish
It
Spirit
so
was
good.
with him so he could have really
know.
went off. But
I am
fail.
really looking forward to that kind of fight in the future because I'm sure we'll get it. If we don't, that'd be incredibly disappointing. But I can just imagine how amazing and intense that fight would be if he actually did have a weapon.
Yeah.
And like to your point, Ollie, I love the fact that Lord Death, like as we knew him up to this point, was really fun. He was very kooky and crazy and had like a quirky personality. And then he comes out here and becomes very serious and takes on Asura. And I thought that was such a good, like such an awesome thing seeing him have two sides to this personality. It's like I can be quirky and fun for my students and make
Yeah.
them feel like they can trust me and then be serious when it comes time to. So it's not like I'm
Yeah.
just this weird guy. Like you can
Yeah.
ensure I can save you
He's
or
about
protect you.
business, yeah.
basically, don't F with my students.
Okay.
Like that's,
Yeah.
and I was just like, go off, sis. That Reaper chop. Oh,
Yeah.
my
Oh my
gosh.
gosh.
Oh my gosh. Go home, Asura. You're done.
Go. Well, he kind of did go home because then he left
Yeah.
right after that.
But
so.
I even just love his greeting. Hiya, long time no see. Like
Yeah,
that
it's
was
like,
so, I was just
now.
like, so cute. But then obviously it changed and he went
Yeah.
down.
And so then, of course, yeah, as we were saying, Asura escapes. And then there's kind of like that last moment with Stein and Medusa, where again, like she's tenacious, she won't give up. When she's like,
die
"Cut."
already.
She's split in half, and she's still trying to fight him.
Yeah, my goodness, you saw like the raining blood of the arrows, which that was so dope. I had done like a boomerang. It was just that was a sick scene. But anyway, that should be on a shirt actually. But yeah, I'm like, die already! My goodness, like you're still alive. And even when he had struck her, when she goes back, she's like evilly smiling. So I'm like, I still don't think this girl's dead. That's another prediction.
Oh
but yeah.
my god.
Even though when he like hit her in the chest, from what it looked like, you still think
I
she
wrote it
might
down. I was like,
be-
"Is she dead?" Because I wasn't sure, and I'm like, I don't know what to believe anymore. So
I was cracking up because you reminded me of Austin Powers when that woman wouldn't die. No,
die
but
already.
I mean, she can't be dead. What's up with that snake?
Thank you.
You see that
Slithering
snake?
out of that sewer, and I was like, and it had the arrows too, and the eyes. She's not dead.
Oh, she's just too thirsty.
Not till season 3.
She's thirsty for some Stein, Medusa. Come down. Watch your back,
She
Medusa.
can't get enough.
No.
She clearly can't. And I wonder how much longer before we possibly see her again. So she's kind of sort of maybe still alive. Asura is gone and everyone's kind of recuperating from this battle. That leads us into episode 12. The death sites convene. Stop Dad's staff reassignment? Oh, man. This was cool. This was cool because we kind of get to see more death sites. We've kind of only ever gotten to see Spirit up to this point. And so what did we think about kind of the introduction to these new characters? Marie, Justin, Azusa is like how they pronounced it, right? Yeah, it was like Azusa, but Azusa. What do we think about these new characters?
Well, it's so cool because you think of a death scythe, you automatically think of a scythe, but you'll see that they're actually...
It's like a lead.
It's not what you'll think when you actually see them in their weapons. It's like, oh my gosh, I didn't expect this. But it gave me so much like Avengers Assemble vibe.
Yeah.
Death Scythe event, I can't even talk. Assemble Death Scythe. So I was just here for it, and I'm excited for you guys to meet the new Death Scythes.
Yeah, so I didn't know exactly what to think at first because, like, who are these characters? Justin just seems like, I was just imagining, like, AirPods in his ears.
My
I'm like,
gosh, yeah.
what's going on? But just as far as, like, the vibes they gave me, I can definitely see Avengers, but I was also thinking Naruto, Shippuden, when you see all the Hokages come together. I just like when you see everyone kind of come together, or, like, all the villages come together, whatever. But, hopefully Marie is good with Stein. Yeah.
She is kooky.
She is.
Granted, we've said this multiple times, and even multiple times just this episode alone, that the characters, when introduced, they're so kooky, but they have their serious sides. But she's, like, very kooky. She's like, I just want a husband. I'm going to marry this toilet. Like, she's all over the place.
She's
She's
wild.
calling herself old, and I'm wondering what's the eye patch. Like, something serious had to have happened.
I was going to ask, like, do you think she lost her eye, or do you think it could be, like, Free's eye that, has a special ability but needs to remain
I'm thinking
sealed?
it's like Free's eye.
Free's eye, like something special with her. Ollie's just smiling, like,
I'm just sitting here. I'm just smiling.
Or maybe her eye is, like, not even an eye, and it's, like, a piece of skin that, like, I don't know, attacks people. I don't know. I just found it,
just like it
just
launches
jumps
out like a snake.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Something.
But I did find this whole of them coming together to try and regroup. And what's even funnier is there's supposed to be like 8 Death Scythes, and forums like, they're not returning our call. We can't get a hold of them.
One's in Cancun.
What about this one? They're not answering our calls. And then, so luckily, Spirit is not reassigned. He was so afraid of that.
Yeah.
And, like, good for him, too, that he gets assurance that he is going to be Lord Death's weapon, too.
Yeah, that's nice.
Because you can't blame him at all, you know?
He's the best, so it's like he still deserves his spot.
Yeah.
And he looks the best with Death because he's an actual scythe, and it just complements. You know, we like to match a little bit here and there. You know, and also he was afraid of being reassigned and also possibly losing custody of Maka.
Yeah.
And we know he's a good guy. Obviously, he was totally going after Medusa and how she treated Crona. But yeah, creepiness aside, I really do appreciate Spirit's love for Maka.
He has good intentions. He just has his weird moments, like over the top moments, where it's just like.
Also, like, why is he afraid of losing custody when Maka's mom is just
Where's
MIA, where is she? Yeah.
So
Poor
he don't have to
Maka.
worry. He doesn't have to worry.
I mean,
Just
so
saying.
far he's, despite what Maka thinks, so far I think he's doing a good job because he's there. You know.
Exactly.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure it was in this episode where Mako was this, maybe it's the next one where she's saying, like, can we go out, go shopping?
It was.
Oh, yeah.
No, it was this
No,
episode.
it's
Oh, it is this one? Okay. This is what I'm saying. I don't know if just Ollie,
What?
Maka, is she gonna stay like this wholesome girl? Because now all of a sudden she's being so nice to her dad.
Shady Maka.
Yeah, like something's up.
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No.
Am I
She's just,
hallucinating?
like, she's giving her dad a chance.
Okay.
Granted, she
I
wasn't.
would like
she
to
wasn't,
think.
Granted,
Okay.
she wasn't going to give him a chance. She lost, and so that was her like punishment
Yeah.
gosh.
Okay, I'll give her benefit of the doubt.
Oh, well,
from playing basketball.
with the kids. Also,
Yeah,
I
that
don't
was
know if
funny.
you guys noticed, Kid's
That's me.
shirt was not symmetrical. Did you look at his shirt? It was
No.
not
no,
symmetrical.
what was not so much? I wasn't
It
looking
was
at.
it was like a Henley, and there was like buttons on the like right side or left side, but it wasn't symmetrical, and that's a huge thing.
Oh my
Everyone like
gosh.
always points out in the episode. So
I need to go back and
I don't
look
know.
at that.
I don't know why they did that. I don't know why they did that at all.
I just
But
found
it's
it
not symmetrical. Groundbreaking.
not even that, but I just found it funny that he was playing basketball to begin with. I was
Right.
like, you enjoy this? Like, you're normal?
Poor Maka. I was
Maka
so,
is me.
I
when it
was
comes to basketball.
agreed. I'm like, what's going on? What is
What
this?
is
Where's
sports?
the D line?
I'm
What?
double dribbling. What does that mean? Hello?
I'm traveling. Huh?
Maka is all of us when if we ever attempted to play sports.
Sports? Huh? Okay.
But yeah, and then of course it's like, oh, she lost, so like you were saying, Jamie, her punishment was to spend a day with her dad, and that was a very touching moment with Spirit that he she wouldn't have done it on her own, but it was very touching that he had that kind of reaction. It just really shows how much he cares about his daughter.
Yeah.
And he was puking.
He puked, and Maki even said, "I'm gonna get you some medicine. She's gonna take care of her dad who's puking because he's just so happy."
And they're like, why are you being
sweet.
so nice?
Very sweet. Meanwhile, Marie's just being so thirsty with Stein over there.
I kind of ship them. I feel like I don't know. I see it.
I got the opposite impression. Like, well, no. Hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out.
Okay.
I would totally ship them, but and it was made known that like, oh, Marie, there's Stein, your first love, like when they were kind of introduced. But I didn't get the thirsty vibe from her. I felt like she was just kind of miserable that she had to work and be there. Maybe I'm blind. Maybe I'm just not reading into it. I don't know.
I mean, no, that's a good theory. Like, I don't think she's thirsty for him yet. I just think that, I just sense a little something going on with them. So, yeah.
I can totally see that. I would like that, especially because Stein probably does need someone to care for and keep him balanced and bring him back if he ever does go overboard.
Because we don't hear a lot about his family, or his love life. None of that.
Yeah, and that's exactly why she's his new partner now too.
Yeah.
To make sure that
He needs some, yeah.
Well, she does have that healing wavelength, so,
Ooh.
And they have a past, so I'm just saying, I think they're a good match. I don't know, we'll see.
I see it too.
We'll see.
Yeah.
And something else that happened this episode, we finally got to see a little bit more of Crona, which I don't know about you guys, but I felt so bad. Like, granted, it wasn't Crona's fault, everything that he did, like fighting them and everything, but it was just so sad that Mako went through all this trouble to be like, can I be your friend? And then the next we see him, he's in like a
dungeon
cell,
or something,
a dungeon, yeah. I just felt so bad because I'm just like, he wants
They
to
didn't
be
know what to do with him, but
Yeah.
you have to appreciate the fact that Lord Death we're enrolling him in the academy, so that was really cool. They didn't have to do that, but that was cool. I know it's a dungeon, okay, but maybe they'll upgrade the Crona's cell, or maybe get like a cute little apartment. We'll see.
Hardwood floors,
Hardwood floors,
Maybe
all that
some
kind of
air
stuff.
conditioning,
Right.
a
Central
heater.
air.
Some books, some light.
Yeah.
Well, now that he would be enrolled in the academy, we go into episode 13, the exciting and embarrassing trial enrollment. The DWMA New Lifestyle Support Fair is open. My gosh, that is a long title.
Run-on sentences.
Wow. So yes, this episode kind of brings in Crona finally kind of being able to be involved and try and work and learn how to deal with people, which I really appreciated. Every time they bring Crona back in an episode, I'm slowly being like, I really, really like you. Okay.
I do like him. I think it's just like, I'm not sure if I should because I don't know what's going to happen, but it's like, I do like Crona. He's just vulnerable. He just needs a friend. I know that we're saying Crona doesn't have a gender, but I'm just going to call it he for right now.
Yeah, I find myself, even like, I see Crona as genderless, but even sometimes I say he, just because the show says he.
The show says he, yeah.
And I just think Crona, you really just want Crona to smile and feel that joy. Crona's never known what joy is, and Crona's never been socialized. Like, Crona's kind of been homeschooled. Nothing against homeschooling, but that can
suicide.
That can happen when you're not properly socialized to the outside world. And even Crona didn't even know how to walk downstairs, and it was just so sad. And then we get to like the poetry.
The poetry. Oh my gosh.
What
that
a good
scene.
scene.
Oh my gosh.
I just don't want to be born anymore. I wish I never came back to life.
They're like, where'd you come from? Sid.
Everyone, even Sid was sad and
Yeah.
depressed.
I'm like,
Oh
Sid,
my
where'd you come
God.
from? But I just think the pauses were great. They're just like, don't,
It's like small bits. This show does so well with like inserting small bits of
It does.
comedy, and I really appreciate it. But I'm also very happy that Crona gets to be enrolled in the academy because I feel like he is a very handy weapon in their coming battles, because he does have the black blood in him. He is the demon sword, so I feel like because he was with Medusa for so long, he'll have maybe knowledge of how to fight or how to take on, or like he might know what their plans were. I think he's a valuable asset, honestly.
Totally. Definitely.
I think, I'll save my predictions.
Save them.
Also, I just loved in this episode, Maka was like murking everyone when with the book. She would always even like, oh my gosh, though, I was not here for Little Ragnarok when he like flipped it up her skirt and then she just
oh my god,
bam.
I'm just like, why? He was doing the exact same thing with Crona at the beginning of this episode, like trying to lift Crona's dress. I'm like, why?
He makes me so mad sometimes.
He's such a bully, guys.
Crona just knows
annoying.
it's so hard to control, and that's why I think that like it's hard to control your self doubt and that maybe depression, that emo feeling that she'll get, and even Soul was just like, quit being emo over there. So
And it's contagious.
it's hard, you know. It's a work in progress, I think, for Crona.
And then they kind of go on this new mission where like a golem who's supposed to be soulless is going berserk. And how did you guys feel that, granted, this, when it aired in Japan, I think all you were mentioning earlier, when it aired just aired straight, but how Netflix is breaking it up, it's breaking it up by seasons. How did we kind of feel that it ended here, and like seeing the preview for the next batch of episodes?
I thought it was a little weird, a little off, but at the same time, I think it was clever because it makes us think like, okay, well, at least it's like for me, as far as like a potential prediction, I would say, okay, now we get to see how Maka and Crona work together. And knowing that Crona has the black blood, and from our knowledge, Maka no longer has the black blood. You just wonder how will they work together. So,
Yeah, I thought it was a little awkward, but at the same time, it was a little badass at the same time, seeing Crona just like, oh, okay, I'm gonna take it from here. Step aside. So, but it's weird because it's not necessarily seasons. So I don't know.
right.
Maybe manga does this. Does manga ever do that? I'm not that versed in manga personally.
Same. I don't read as much manga as I would like, but I feel like generally when you have kind of something that ends, you want to end it off on like a good conclusion, like kind of wrapping it up and then going into something. But I feel like this episode would have been a great way to start off the next batch of episodes.
Yeah, that's a good
And
point.
then the kind of the Crona being introduced into the academy and kind of them coming up with their contingency plan for Asura would have been a good, like, okay, we dealt with this problem, here's how we're trying to fix it, and then we'll go on to the next batch of episodes. Personally, I don't know. Let us know what you think in the comments.
Yeah, definitely.
Let us know.
Help us out.
Help us out.
We're a mess.
Please leave us comments if you are watching this after we are live. And of course, we are in the live chat looking at all of your comments. We appreciate all of you for joining in. We love seeing it. Again, remember, no spoilers, because some of us are watching it as is. So please try to, you can give us theories, you can give us some insight, but please just be aware of no spoilers.
Right.
All right, let's go into some predictions. Speaking of like talking about next batch, let's talk next batch.
Yeah.
Your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
I just love the sound.
As Ollie
I have
sips
to
his
always
tea.
want it. Right.
Can I give some quick little predictions?
Go for it.
No,
I think we're gonna get a badass new opening soon with a badass good song. My favorite, probably one of my favorite anime opening songs ever.
Okay.
Just wait. Medusa, I don't think we've seen the last. That snake really just rubbed me the wrong way. And Crona's gonna have some good moments coming up, and I think we have a couple more characters to explore, new characters or like other students that we'll see like them get to do some stuff too.
Ooh.
Yeah. So Ollie, I'm super excited for the opening because I love a good opening theme song. So again, I don't think we've seen the last of Medusa. Definitely that snake. It's clearly Medusa, something she's doing. Plus, isn't she still in? A part of her is still inside of Uruka.
Yeah. What happened to all those snakes that are
We never
supposedly?
never got to.
Supposedly.
So there's
clarity on
that.
yeah.
And then Crona, which I am starting to like Crona. It's like I'm excited for his development, but I'm also nervous because we still have Stein, and I think Stein is like really eyeing Crona, and then Medusa's still around, so I'm just kind of like, what's gonna happen? But I'm excited about it. So
Yeah, no, oh, that's a really good point because we know Stein really likes to dissect, and Crona has all this black blood in him, is very close to like this experiment. So, he kind of needs to watch out, especially because Crona is not super aware of what's going on around him. So he definitely needs to be careful. I'm very excited to see how Marie and Stein partner together because I feel like Spirit was so good at keeping Stein grounded, and I feel like Marie's kind of all over the place with her thoughts, and so I really wonder if it's going to be a good balance or if Stein is going to be irritated in the beginning. So I'm very excited to see how their partnership starts to develop. And I'm kind of just excited to... Oh.
Sorry. I don't know if that picked up my burp.
Okay. I was like, is that me?
And yeah, I think at least maybe the next couple episodes, just going based off of what we saw, we might start getting into more of like back to the kids going on missions for a little bit, trying to recollect souls while the Death Sites and Lord Death and Sid and Stein and all of them try and regroup and figure out what they're going to do about Asura. Because right now, I obviously don't think they want the kids involved, even though they already were. But that is sadly all the time that we have today. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Soul Eater After Show. Ollie, where can the fans find you on social media?
Yeah, guys, you can find me on all social media platforms at Ollie Dreamer, and check me out on the RuPaul's Drag Race After Show on AfterBuzz TV at 5 today, and also Runaways After Show on AfterBuzz TV on Monday. Yeah.
Awesome. Guys, I'm Jaimi Gray. You can find me on Twitter at It's Jaimi Gray or on Instagram at Jaimi Gray. I also do the How to Get Away with Murder panel, which is on Thursdays at 9, and it's just so good, so you gotta check it out.
Hey everyone, Veronica Valencia here. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at It's Me, Veronica_V. You can also catch me Wednesdays at 8 p.m. on the Deadly Class After Show. Again, thank you so much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. Be sure to tune in next week. Bye.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.